Hi, Rockafire enthusiasts. It's February 7th, 2020, and this is kind of a behind-the-scenes video that I'm sending to everybody, not just my premium subscribers, because I have a revelation from God today. Last night I went to bed sad that I had lost the whole week that I meant to work on Second Generation Duke, fighting, childishly with haters. It's just I decided I finally had enough, and that's what I did. And the biggest thing I was upset about really when I went to bed last night was that I'd lost my whole week, that I wanted to actually create the very first Second Generation Duke drumming sequence. So I thought about maybe I should quit. The reason I don't want to quit is because I'm still so young and so strong, and I have so much work still to do, and I actually know how to bring the Rockafire back to the mainstream. And I don't mean you guys, the fans who already like the Rockafire. I mean people who've never heard of them. Those are the people that I'd really like to reach with a brand new idea for the Rockafire. Now, you guys are the ones that convinced me that the Rockafire deserves another life. That Beach Bear and Mitzi and Billy Bob and those guys are cool in their own way. And so, and it has nothing to do with, whether they've got a head twist left or head twist right, or a leg kick. None of that really matters. What matters to you guys, or to the fans, is that you love the characters. Even so much, you love them so much that even the haters who hate my guts love the characters and can't quit them. So, but you see, I don't want to live life the way I lived it the last few days. And so I went to bed last night and I prayed to God to tell me if I should quit. I have too many haters. I mean, lots and lots of haters. I would guess 100, with maybe 15 or 30 being very, very vile. And so I just said, I'm kind of tired. I think I'll just think about this in the morning. And I said my little prayer, which I've told all my behind-the-scenes subscribers many times is what I do when I've got a mechanical problem, an electrical problem, a philosophical problem, business problem. I always just say a little prayer, and I send it out into the cosmos. And this is why I have a strong belief in God, because He answers my prayers. Okay, so I get up today at the crack of noon because I stay up all night. And what's in my email, at the top of my email list? This message from Ray Edwards titled, "Love Your Haters." Well, the idea of that sort of grinds my gears, because how can you love your haters? I mean, that's like Jesus, right? I'm not Jesus. My haters will tell you that. Valentina will tell you that. So I thought, God, what message is God sending me through Ray Edwards? So now I'm just going to play the message and let you hear it. And then I'm going to tell you that I'm going to try and do what Ray Edwards has suggested that I do, so that I never lose another day of working on Second Generation Duke, fighting with my haters. That's a tall order for me, because I'm a fighter, and you guys know that. But let's listen to Ray. If you tune out, you may miss the most important message that God has ever sent all of us.
It's Friday, February 7th, and this is the Daily Ray.
Today's subject for the Daily Ray is about haters. We're back to haters. I struck a nerve with this, got lots of questions from people, both publicly and through DM, about how do you deal with people who are hating on you on social media? Well, first of all, if you're not making any impact, if you're not getting out your message anywhere, you won't get any haters. So if you don't want to get anybody who's critiquing you or criticizing you or defaming you, then just don't do anything or say anything or do anything of significance. You won't have that problem. If you're going to get your message out to anybody, though, if you're going to get your message out to the world and your message matters, just remember this: all powerful communication offends somebody. And some people will make it their mission to persecute you for speaking the truth. It's just how it works. They did it to Jesus. Don't expect any better treatment than he got. So the question is not whether or not people are going to be your detractors, be your persecutors, be your haters. And there's varying degrees. There's frenemies. These are people who are like your friends, but they keep saying critical things about you, and you wonder, why would a friend do that to me? That's a good question to ask. I'd pursue that with them. I'm just ask them, say, what makes you think it's okay to say that? See what their response is. Maybe they haven't thought it through. So there's frenemies. There's friends who support you. And then there's enemies. And they're not really our enemies. Our ultimate enemy is not a human being. Because human beings who think they are our enemies are deceived. They're deceived. And we have to remember this. And we have to remember, we don't have to, but I recommend that you do this. The proper response to haters, real haters, who are really just spitting vituperous hate out on you, who are persecuting you needlessly, unjustly, with, like, you wonder, do they have anything else in their life to do? The answer is no, they don't. The proper response to hate is compassion. Think about it. If a person's time and energy is spent writing up posts that are about you or about your content, about how terrible it is, that is a sad, pathetic existence. There's something deeply wrong with that person. There's something deeply missing in their life. It's a cry for help. It doesn't mean you're responsible for helping them. Just because somebody had an idea they wanted to persecute you does not mean you have to respond with helping them. But it does mean that our proper response is compassion. Compassion to think, well, this human being is so broken, this is the only way they can think of to connect with another human being. The only way they can think of to connect with another human being is through persecution, hate, hateful speech, trying to cause trouble, trying to be a thorn in your side. And remember this, they think they're doing the right thing. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to be a villain today. I'm going to be a terrible, horrible person and do something awful. They may even be thinking, I don't like to do this, but I have to. It's what's right. But the reason I don't critique people, I see things online that bother me, that anger me, that get under my skin. I don't talk about those things. Why? Because it does nobody any good. It doesn't do any good with the person who's saying those things. It's only going to reinforce their position. It doesn't do anybody good who follows those people because they already believe that position. It doesn't do any good to people who believe what I believe because we already believe the same thing. So the only reason for me to write about or spend time on focusing on in my content things that I don't agree with are incorrect reasons. They're illogical. What is logical, what makes sense, what is indicative of a whole person is to concentrate on your message, not on somebody else's. You have a message to carry. You have a point to make. You have something that you're supposed to bring to the world. Focus on that and don't be bothered by the haters. I know that's easy to say and harder to do. In the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah has brought the people of Israel back to the city to rebuild the walls of the city. And his enemies, I'm just paraphrasing, so if I get some of this wrong, forgive me. And their enemies come and try to distract them. They want Nehemiah and his people to come down and have a council with them. So they say, come down from the wall and talk to us. We have things to talk with you about. You're not doing the right things. And Nehemiah's response is to look down and to say, why should I come down there and talk with you? I have important work that I'm doing. I'm going to focus on what God gave me to do. It's also worth noting that Nehemiah's men, as they're reconstructing the wall, they took the tools of their trade to reconstruct the wall with them, and they also wore their swords at their side to fight off the enemy. Now, we don't use swords these days to fight our enemy. We have a different sword. We have this sword right here. The Word of God is our sword. The Spirit of God is our protector. It's a perfect sword and a perfect protector. So if you have haters who are trying to distract you from your mission, first of all, concentrate on your message, not theirs. And for God's sake, don't give them a platform. This is a mistake I see people make a lot. Somebody starts a campaign, some kind of vindictive campaign against you online, and you spend all your time defending yourself on your platform. You know what you're doing? You're just exposing